My dear, dear manifestor, this is your opportunity to plug out, unwind, and stop trying to pretend to be part of the hustle of the generators and the manifesting generators. This is your time to really allow yourself to rest so that the creative urges can come, and allow yourself to be taken into that journey. And if this means that you're just craving more alone time because you haven't mastered the art of informing yet, that's fine. You do you, find your process. If you're, like renting a little cabin on the mountain or near the ocean, and all you're doing is like mapping out the big grand vision for your business, or working on an art piece, or taking your camera for a walk and photographing whatever it is that you're passionate about, allow yourself to really listen to that creative urge and where it wants to take you. And if that is a time where you're really just enjoying that oneness with yourself, that one-on-one time where you're sitting in your own energy, where you are the master of creating peace within your environment, where you're able to really find that steady energy that grounds you within yourself, where you're constantly and actively reinforcing that your bigness and your strength and your authority is not threatening and is not a misuse of power, but it's actually this incredible capacity to expand peacefulness into the world around you, into the environment around you. When you're really connecting to that deep inner calmness that you're able to exude, that is when you're in your most powerful. The power doesn't come from intense arguing, aggressiveness, and like dominance. It actually comes from peace. It actually comes from calmness. And so allow yourself to take this little summer vacation to have an incredible manifestor glow up. Like the way that I love a manifestor when they're aligned, it is just the most, I don't know if this is because I'm a projector and I'm like very feminine energy. So manifestors with their masculine energy, just like, I'm like so grateful every time I meet a manifestor in their energy, and I'm just like, oh, I can relax now. They've got it. And so I want you to do that. I want you to find peace in this sense of like aloneness, which doesn't equal loneliness, but it is really, this constant conversation with your inner self and your inner child to create this very serene surrounding. So that's what I want you to do. I want you to plug out from the busyness. I want you to stop trying to, keep up with the world. I want you to go to a cabin, rent a hotel for 3 days, whatever it is that can bring you this sense of solitude in the most positive way, where you're just connecting to your own rhythm, where you're able to sleep in, to go to sleep late, where you're able to rest. Again, like projectors, horizontally is great because you're releasing your sacral energy. And from there on, really connecting to what peace feels like for you. Trusting in your innate power is going to increase your attractiveness as a manifestor by 200 folds, okay? This is because, again, nobody wants to be dominated. Nobody wants to be forced. When you're using dominance and force in this very manipulative intensity to push what you want to get done, people will disengage with the support and they love and the admiration they have for you. Because as a manifestor, you are innately powerful. You are the kings and the conquerors, and we will make space. We will put out the red carpet for you and welcome you and celebrate you. But the moment that we notice that you feel that we owe you, the moment that we feel that you're trying to push and shove things, the moment that you are not relying on your natural understanding of your powerful self, attractiveness levels goes down. A real magnetic, attractive manifestor is one that says what they think, does not care about what other people think of them, does things in a way that feels correct for them, lets everybody know how it's getting done, and is unapologetic about how they think and how they feel without
hurting anybody, without stepping onto other people's feelings, without expecting anybody else to really feel the same way that they do, okay? So the manifestor's attractiveness is directly linked to the peaceful energy that they bring, to the capacity that they have to embody their energetic authenticity without it being like, hey, I'm a manifestor, I'm powerful, look at me. We know. You're the one who hasn't figured it out yet. You're the one who's questioning. You're the one who's looking for approval of how powerful you are. You're the one that's trying to like show the world how powerful I am. No, my lovely manifestor. That's not what makes you attractive. What makes you attractive is that ruthless confidence that you have in who you are and who you've come to be, where you do not have to prove yourself, you do not have to force your ideas on anybody, and you do not have to make an excessive amount of effort to get your vision into the world. If you're a manifestor, then you're actually here to eat in a way that, again, matches your energy. And I love this because we often think that, things are separate from each other, but energy really combines all of the different elements in one. And so as a manifestor, because you have spurts of deep energy and then rest, you are here to eat heavy, big meals 3 times a day in a way that feels very grounding and very nourishing and very peaceful. So we want to always go from a baseline that you should never get hangry, which is hungry and angry, and nourish your body in a way that really feels fulfilling. And so manifestors often have difficulties because there's a snack at every single corner. There's a pastry here, and then there's another pastry there. And honestly, I feel like there's so much carbs on every single corner of every street if you live in a city that it's really impossible not a snack and to graze and to be like, oh, I wanted to try this, I want to try that. And so for manifestors, just really being mindful of understanding that the way that you nourish your energetic authenticity is by eating in a way that matches the way that you energetically show up. And maybe this is something that fluctuates also. Maybe you just feel pulled to bigger, higher, rich foods when you are in this burst of creative urge, when you are informing, when you're in the more active phase of your cycle, energetic cycle, don't mean menstrual cycle, because you need to have that rest, right? Rest is so important for manifestors because it's the way that you allow space to enter in your field, to receive guidance from the universe, to listen to that inner voice that wants to come out. And create something spectacular or unique or different or with high impact. And so maybe you notice that the way that you eat is that when the creative urge is hitting, you're working until 3 a.m. and you're obsessive about creating that vision, then you need a lot of fuel. And maybe you notice that when you are on a rest day, that you actually feel like you need less quantity of food. And so honor what your body needs and don't try to follow advice that is counterproductive and is leaving you drained, where you feel like you're not eating enough calories and you just don't feel like you have that queen king energy in your strength, right? And your strength to show up and your strength to communicate and your strength to withhold the adversities to the impact that you might creating in your life. And then we have movement, and movement, again, it's all aligned with your energy. I want you to have a high impact movement, HIIT movement, things where you have short bursts of energy that are very intense, but create high impact. So you do not have to be running for an hour in a treadmill. You do not have consistent energy, but the energy that you have is very intense. Again, if you're not a super gym person, high intensity workout trainings are great, or something that is actually really soft. I'm sure 10K steps could do fantastic. Or if you do gym workouts, even if you're working with weights, right? Try to do less reps, high intensity. So instead of doing 15 sets of whatever thing, do 3 sets with a high intensity or high weight. So you have concentrated amount of effort in a short period of time, which is how you're designed to work. And as of nervous system regulation, peace is going to be your number one thing. Whatever it is, the thing that gives you that feeling of peace, whether this is going on a silent retreat, whether this is really, like having that commitment to yourself of doing 10 minutes of meditation a day, whether that is incorporating conscious communication so that you really understand how to have conversations and be able to impact people with the way that you talk in a way that isn't threatening, where you're not on high adrenaline because you feel like you have to confront people in the way that you're meant to show up in the world. There's so many little tools that we can incorporate that gives us this grounded feeling of being okay with yourself, really building that kind of like emotional resistance towards, or emotional fitness to deal with the resistance that you might encounter as a manifestor who's leading the way, paving the way, and building yourself up to be able to not get super stressed out and have high cortisol rises because you're doing things that have never been done before. Like, that is a really beautiful path to lead, but it's also one that can feel very unstabilizing if you're not deeply grounded in who you are, your values, and how you show up in the world.